Living with the Amish: What influences on me after 30 years? Presented by Fumiyuki Taka. This presentation is an abridged version of my autoethnography, originally based on my diary while I was living with an Amish family in the USA in 1996. I would like to discuss what I obtained from the days with them, from my own thoughts at that time as well as today, and how this experience influences on me as a psychologist, a person since then. Why Amish? While I enrolled myself for a master's program in counseling psychology in the USA, I wanted to have cultural experiences which was peculiar in the United States of America. I came to know there was an Amish village in a neighboring state. I became interested in their religious life continuing from medieval times. I bought a book and learned about the Amish. I was more interested in the Amish and wanted to live with them. Obstacles: I knew nobody who had contact with the Amish community. They don't accept people out of their community, therefore impossible. I did not want to finish my psychology study without living life experiences. Why did I want living life experiences? Prior to the study in the USA, I had cross-cultural experiences at a Danish folk school. The name of the school is the International People's College. Students over the world, approximately 20 countries, lived in dormitory and in a setting of multiculturalism 24 hours a day. The living life experiences there gave me different perspectives which could be difficult to obtain for a typical Japanese person who stayed in Japan. Moreover, in Denmark, I felt differences between Buddhism and Christianity, which could be the difference between mercy and love. Additional information about myself. Despite there was a Christian kindergarten just 100 meters away from my house, I took the bus to a Buddhist kindergarten for 2 years. As a child, I sometimes wondered. The reason why I chose the Danish folk school was to make a good memory. I was given a diagnosis of scleroderma at the age of 19, and I was explained the possibility of death in the future by a doctor. Mine was limited scleroderma, but medically there was not a clear difference with systemic sclerosis in the mid-1980s. I read an article about the Danish school in a newspaper and I decided to go there. In Denmark, scleroderma disappeared and I enjoyed the school. Because of this good memory of the school, I decided to pursue my career in a cross-cultural area, and I also felt I am kept alive. What I did was, in March 1996, I started with finding the tourist information center in the Amish village. I handed my resume to the staff of the center. From April to June 1996, I visited the family nearly every weekend to know each other. I was invited to an Amish community meeting and given the chance. From July 1st to August 25th, 5th, 1996, I lived with an Amish family. The family was a dairy farmer. My typical days was like this. Amish way of life, reality. While I was living with the Amish family, my major concern was a religious point of view. The Amish is peaceful people. I did not experience discrimination or prejudice while I was in the Amish community. However, I witnessed some exceptions while I was living with them. The Amish family I lived with used electricity to refrigerate milk. I saw an Amish man buy alcohol in spite of their religious prohibition. An Amish restaurant was making a profit by donation. On the host family's mother's birthday, her mother brought leftovers for celebration. On the host family's father's birthday, his father just changed his raincoat at the entrance of the host family's house and left, without a word. I could not digest these exceptions until my autoethnography. Now it seems that I was looking for a solution of an equation at that time. What I experienced with them at that time. I was being Japanese. Its, its consideration. I could not say no when I was offered food, even though I was full. I thought I am Japanese. I can't be others. I was behaving like American. Its assertiveness. I expressed my feelings when I felt I was their personal driver. I am Japanese, but the American way is also part of myself. I can't forget the Amish family who came to the ice cream shop after farm work, especially a small boy who ate ice cream with relish. So I thought, what is happiness? I kept on asking myself for 30 years. After living with the Amish, I moved to Australia and worked as a psychologist in cross-cultural settings. I joined a short program to practice Zen Buddhism in Kyoto in 2001. I had a volunteer work at Mother Teresa's house in India in 2001. Kitayama, 1998, which is 2 years after my experience with the Amish family, states that many of psychological processes are formed through daily realities, and the psychological process itself is formed in the reflection of custom and tacit knowledge. It seems that I experienced this at the Danish folk school and learned the importance of this for multicultural counseling. Now I think the Amish daily practice of Christianity reminds me of that of Zen Buddhism. The Amish's plain life is a spiritually affluent life in the opposite side of the American materially affluent life, and it's not a religion but a way of life. It seems they are contradictory, but both affluence are part of American dream. Other thing I noticed from my autoethnography, I lived in the USA for 3 years and 8 months. Nearly 30 years have passed since I left the USA. Before I wrote my autoethnography, much of my memories about the USA were the Amish, my cross-country road trips in the United States, by a $1,000 second-hand car, and my career start as a psychology professional in California. I noticed that my memories became less positive about the USA in the last 30 years due to the car accident and the financially hard years at that time. The process of the autoethnography reminded me of good memories of the USA, such as a nurse who asked her boyfriend, who was a police officer, to take me from the hospital to the Amish village when I had the car accident. I now recollect that my days with the Amish were helped by the Amish people and the people who I did not even know their names, which is heartwarming. References. Thank you so much for listening to me.